Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I get my sweat-proof, long-lasting foundation routine. This is my routine if I'm going to a cookout or a wedding or any kind of like concert, something where you're going to be outside sweating all day, and I know that I'm going to need it to last all day. I don't want it to break up. I don't want it to start sliding off, separating. So this is a foundation routine that I use in the summer. I know a lot of you ask how to keep your foundation on for a long period of time. In my opinion, obviously there's primers, foundations, setting sprays. The biggest thing for me, I would say, would be your foundation that you're choosing and your setting spray. I think some foundations are just not meant to be long lasting, so that might be the biggest issue. I think a lot of people are using a foundation and it's just not long lasting. There's nothing you really can do to make it last for 10 hours plus. So I'm going to talk about the foundation that works the best for me and setting sprays as well. So if you want to know how I do my foundation for long lasting summer events, then please keep watching. My first tip is to use a primer. Now primers are suited for all different skin types, whether you want to be dewy, you want to be matte, or you have pores. I like to go for a pore smoothing or a mattifying primer, typically both. The two that I've been loving lately is the Cover FX blurring primer. I am obsessed with this. You can see I have done some damage. This really smooths out your pores. It doesn't break up, and I find that my makeup lays beautifully on top of it. So this is like my new favorite. It's replaced all my other pore primers. And my second favorite is the new one from Touch in Soul. This one is from Sephora. It's a no pore blem. God, I literally can't say that. I literally had like 17 takes trying to say that. So this is their pore primer. So these are my two favorites as of lately, both new releases, and I've been loving them. I haven't really touched any other primers. Now, I believe that the foundation is the most important. I think there's some foundations that no matter what spray you use, what primer, what skin prep, it's just not going to last long. So my ride or die, the best long-lasting foundation that I've ever tried is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I've recommended this to so many of you guys. This is my ride or die. I use this so often because I like how it lasts all day. I don't want to have something breaking up after 5 hours. Even if I'm just around the house, it just gets greasy and starts separating, and to me that's just not a good look. So this is my absolute favorite. I love this foundation so much that I have 4 different shades. I have Tawny, Cool Bone, Sand, and I think it's Fresco or Fresno. So I range. This is my ride or die. It just lasts all day. I do find that stippling it with a beauty blender works better to really keep it into the skin, because this can be, I don't want to say drying, maybe a tiny bit, but it's really a lot better than a lot of the other foundations that I've tried that are long lasting. I use a damp beauty blender and really press it into the skin, and I just feel like it lasts all day. So if you're looking for a long lasting foundation, this would be my top pick for you. So along with your foundation, I do think setting powder is extremely important. I think the way that you apply it is very important as well. For me, I need to really stipple it into the skin. I can't just take a brush and kind of swirl it around. If I want a long lasting result, I typically use a beauty blender and really stamp it into the skin, or a big puff, or a flat top brush. So my two favorite powders as of lately is the Natasha Denona powder, which I've raved about before. It's beautiful. I'm wearing it today to set under my eyes and then all over the face. I just noticed that this lasts all day. I love this. It doesn't gunk up. It doesn't accentuate any texture, and it's just really nice, and it sets your makeup flawlessly. Now, a new powder that's stealing my heart, it's brand new. Now, I've only used it 3 or 4 times, but I already know that I'm going to love it. This is the Born This Way Too Faced powder. Their loose powder is phenomenal. It doesn't accentuate your pores. I love it. I've used it to bake, and I've used it to set all over the face, and this is probably going to be like right up there with the Natasha Denona one. I've just fallen in love with it. I could see myself, if I was traveling right now, putting these two in there. Either one is gorgeous. So I have a video all about setting powders, which I could link down below for you guys, but I think setting powders are extremely important, and I think really stamping it into the skin. So if I were to use a big brush like this, I just don't think that's enough for me, because again, I do have problems with foundation kind of separating and whatnot. So I see a lot of people doing that, and for, you know, everyday quick wear, sure, that's fine. But for me, I need a beauty blender, or I need a flat top brush, something like this, and I really need to stamp it into the skin. I don't want to smear back and forth. I just want to really press it into the skin and make sure that that powder is setting that foundation really deep into my skin so that it's not going to budge throughout the day. The last tip that I have is using a setting spray. I see so many gurus and so many people using the same setting sprays from Sephora. In my opinion, they're not the best as far as long lasting. If you truly want your makeup to stay on all day and you have issues with it, I think you need to kind of go out of the Sephora realm and look for some almost stage makeup setting sprays. So the first one that I've mentioned a million times is the Blue Marble setting spray. As you can see, I have gone through basically an entire one. I think this is like my second one, and I do have a backup because I love this so much. This is basically stage makeup setting spray, but it's water based, so it's not as harsh, and this will make your makeup last all day long. So I absolutely love this. This has been a ride or die for me for a long time, and it makes a huge difference in how long your makeup lasts. The next spray that I wanted to mention is from Ben Nye, and this is the Final Seal. So this is a matte makeup sealer, very similar to the Blue Marble. You guys actually recommended this to me. So you can get these at camerareadycosmetics.com. If you just go to Google and type in the Ben Nye Final Seal or the Blue Marble, they will pop up. And I think they're pretty affordable. They come in different sizes. So I got the smallest size just to try it out, and I have really been enjoying it. It smells minty and it feels really refreshing on your face. It doesn't feel dry or tight, but this is gonna make your makeup last all day. So I definitely think those are really important steps. I think a lot of people kind of go for the run-of-the-mill setting sprays, and I think they're more like refreshing rather than actually sealing in your makeup. So I think these are extremely important steps that a lot of people don't do. So now that I've told you about all of my important steps and key products that I use, I'm going to actually get into the tutorial, kind of do a voiceover, show you what I do and the exact kind of techniques I use to put my makeup on and make it last all day. So if you're interested in seeing my updated foundation routine, then please keep watching. Alright guys, so I'm starting out with my Cover FX Blurring Primer that I've been loving as of lately. And I'm just going to put this on my T-zone where I have the most issues with pores and just kind of push it into the skin. And then I'm going in with my Estee Lauder Double Wear. Now I'm using a brush to apply it to the face. You can use your fingers or you can just take it directly off your hand. But I just wanted to apply an even layer on my face, and then I'm going in with a fresh beauty blender and I'm going to blend this into the skin. I find that I get the most natural look with this foundation because it can be a little bit drying. It's matte, long wearing, so the beauty blender kind of shears it out a little bit. So after that, I'm going in with my Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm just going to apply it under my eyes and on the top of my lip and my chin, which I think I applied too much. Actually, I know I applied too much, but that happens sometimes, and we'll get back to the color we need to be when I start bronzing. It really depends for me because I do go from no self-tan to self-tan, so I never really have like a shade that's always consistent. It just depends on at what stage my self-tanner is at. So I'm just going to blend this out under my eyes with my beauty blender, and then I'm going in with the Tasha Denona powder, which is so great. I love it. And I'm going to bake under my eyes. So I'm just applying powder under my eyes, and then I'm going to apply it heavily to the areas I want to highlight, and then I'm going to stamp into the rest of the skin. I have been focusing on my smile lines, even though I don't have them too terribly bad. And then I'm going to stamp it in the skin, so you see me right here just pushing the product into the skin with my same damp beauty blender. That's a huge tip to make your makeup last all day. And then I'm going to go in with this Becca bronzer. Again, I felt like I was looking a little pale. I think I went too hard on the concealer. So I'm just going to bronze up the perimeters of my face, just around my temples, and then a little bit on the cheek area just to give me a little bit more warmth and make me look a little bit more tan than I actually am. And then I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Shapeshifter palette. I'm obsessed with this. This is extremely pigmented, so a little bit goes a long way. It's very easy to overdo it, so just use a little bit, even though I like a strong contour, admittedly. So I'm going to contour my cheeks and also contour my nose. I've been contouring a little bit differently, so if you guys want to see a video, I can do that. So I'm going in with blush after that. I'm using a MAC blush, and I like a heavy blush. Let's be real, I like a heavy everything. So I'm just going to pack that shit on. I like to look like a baby doll at all times. So then I'm going in with Gold Digger. This is Artist Couture highlighter, and I'm going to apply that to the tops of my cheekbones. This one is intense. They're all intense. I really, really love these. They're really glittery though, so if you don't like that, I would stay clear of that. So then I decided to show my eyes in here. I'm using the Jaclyn Hill palette with Morphe, and I'm just using that first shade to buff all into the crease just as a transition shade. This is going to be a quick, easy, like summer look, but I thought I would include it if I was including the foundation. I thought you guys might want to see this, so I'm just blending it all over my lid, and then I'm going back into the palette with this more cool tone shade, a little bit deeper, and I'm going to use a more concentrated brush and apply this in the crease, but just a little bit lower than the other shade just to give me more depth. And then I'm going back under the lower lash line, and I'm going to start smoking this out. Then going into the palette to this deep kind of warm brown shade, again just on the outer corner very lightly, just adding a little bit of depth, and then popping back into the palette and going in with this gold shade, which is just beautiful for summer. It's just super pigmented. I sprayed my brush with my Gerard Cosmetics spray, and I am just packing this all over the lid. This is super easy out the door. You just kind of like throw a color in your crease and go. So after that, I am going back into the palette and using this dark brown. Again, I just wanted to add a little bit more definition to the outer corner. And then I'm going to sweep this on the lower lash line with a really small pencil brush from Morphe just to kind of define the eyes and smoke it out. I decided to go in with my M Cosmetics liner. I'm not doing a wing. I just decided to do a small line on the top of my eyes. I just find it easier to apply lashes. So I pop some lashes on, and then we're moving on to lips. I'm using a Tarte Lip Duo to line my lips. This is just like a peachy, kind of natural lip liner, and I'm just going to overline my lips as per usual, like I need to. Sometimes I overdo it. We're just going to ignore that. And I'm going in with this new Dose of Colors lipstick in Butterscotch. It is so stunning. It's really light though, almost too light, but it's a gorgeous formula. So I love, love, love. And then I decided to use this light shimmery pink and pop it on the inner corner of my eyes. I always like an inner corner highlight, so I thought that would add a little bit of glow to the look. And then I decided to put some baby blue liner on, which I ended up loving. And so that completes the look. I'm going in with my Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day Spray in Coconut. I'm obsessed. I have a discount code. It's just Babsbeauty, and I'm basically dousing myself with it. And it's just going to make the powder lay down and meld into the skin. And then I'm going to go in with my Final Seal from Ben Nye to really lock in the makeup, and that is it. I hope you guys enjoy. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Alright guys, so that is it for me and my updated sweat-proof foundation routine. Hopefully this helps you out, gives you some tips and products that you could pick up. If you're having issues with your makeup breaking up or not lasting all day, obviously it's hot out, we're going to be sweating, so these are tips that I use to keep my makeup looking flawless all day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have so many more videos coming your way. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.